All right, today we are diving into a pretty radical idea for anyone who wants to learn more faster. It comes from a guide called Efficient Intellect, and it claims the secret to reading, say, 100 books a year isn't what you think. It's actually about reading less. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's get into it. You've probably seen this goal floating around, right? It's like the ultimate badge of honor for being a smart, curious person. But let's be real, for most of us, it just feels impossible. I mean, who has that kind of time? But what if I told you the whole way we think about reading is just, well, wrong? And here it is, the big, counterintuitive idea at the heart of all of this. Forget everything you've heard about speed reading. The real path to packing in more knowledge isn't about pushing your eyes to move faster across the page. Nope. It's about being incredibly selective, ruthless even, about what you read in the first place. So this whole strategy is built on a classic idea, the 80-20 rule, but applied to books. And the claim is pretty shocking. It says that in your average nonfiction book, a whopping 80% of it is just fluff. You know, filler, long-winded stories, the same point repeated 5 different ways. All the actual useful knowledge, that's packed into just 20% of the book. So if you're reading cover to cover, you're basically wasting most of your time. Okay, so let's really dig into this 80-20 reading problem. Why is this even a thing? Why are books filled with so much fluff? A lot of the time, it's because an author has one really good idea, but they need to stretch it out to fill 250 pages. And that creates a huge roadblock for us, the readers. Just let that number sink in for a second. 80%. That means 4 out of every 5 pages you're fighting through might just be padding. That long personal anecdote could have been a sentence. That extra chapter on historical context, maybe not so crucial. And if that's the real problem, then the solution most people turn to is completely missing the point. Which brings us to our old friend, speed reading. We've all seen it, right? The courses and apps that promise to get you reading at 1,000 words a minute. It sounds like the perfect fix for having too much to read, but according to this way of thinking, it's a total trap. And here's why. Speed reading doesn't actually help you tell the difference between the gold and the garbage, that crucial 20% versus the fluffy 80%. It just trains you to blow through all of it at a higher speed. You're still wasting 80% of your precious time, you're just doing it faster. Remember, the goal isn't to read faster, it's to learn faster. And this little chart just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way, speed reading. Your goal is just to get through the words faster, and the result is you kind of sort of understand everything, including all the useless stuff. But on the right, you have fluff skipping. The goal completely changes to learning faster, which means you end up with a really deep understanding of only the parts that actually matter. So, how do we actually do this? How do we become fluff skippers? Well, the solution proposed is this elegant 2-step process called the filter and focus method. It's designed to be like a surgical tool, to go in, grab that valuable 20%, and get out, leaving the rest behind. And honestly, it's beautifully simple. Step 1, you filter. Step 2, you focus. That's it. That's the entire engine of this whole strategy. Let's break down what each of those really means. Okay, step 1 is to filter. This means you need to stop thinking of page 1 as your starting point. Instead, you use high-quality book summary services, the author points to ones like Shortform, to basically get the cheat codes. You get the main arguments and the key takeaways up front. This lets you figure out really fast if the book's core 20% is even worth your time to begin with. It's like triage for your brain. Then comes step 2, focus. So once you've filtered out all the low-value books, where do you put all that time you just saved? You pour it into what the author calls S-tier textbooks. Think about the most information-dense books out there, the kind you get in a university course or a professional certification. They're designed to teach, not to entertain. There's no fluff, no filler, just pure, concentrated knowledge. You're going straight to the source. Now, this whole system is obviously for reading nonfiction to get smarter, but the author doesn't stop there. They have a, let's call it a spicy take on reading fiction that's really designed to make you think. Whoa, okay, look, the point here isn't to say fiction is bad, not at all. It's to apply that same ruthless honesty to why you're reading. If it's for fun, for escape, for connection, that's amazing. But if your goal is pure, cold, hard intellectual gain, the suggestion is that your time might be better spent on something else. It's a provocative idea, for sure. All right, so let's pull all these threads together and build a brand new, actionable strategy for you. This is about more than just a few tips. It's about totally changing your relationship with books. So here's your new playbook. First, and this is a big one, give up the guilt. Stop feeling like you have to read every book cover to cover. You don't. Second, start using summaries as your first line of defense, your primary filter. Third, shift your reading time towards those dense, high-impact sources when you really want to learn something new. And finally, before you even open a book, always ask yourself, why am I reading this? Get intentional. And that really brings us to the final, crucial question you have to ask yourself. Are you reading for entertainment, or are you reading for intellect? There is absolutely no right or wrong answer here. Reading for fun is one of life's greatest pleasures. So is reading to build your mind. But according to the ideas in Efficient Intellect, the secret to success is knowing exactly which game you're playing, and then using the right strategy to win it. And being honest with yourself about that, that's the real first step.